On to the monster of the first winner of the 44K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is the T-Witch. What I'm getting from your content is that you're intelligent, supportive, and a lover of druids. That was my inspiration for your nature-loving support spellcaster, Twitch the Druid. Alright, T-Witch, here's your stat block. Pause to read. Twitch is a tanky druid with good strength, constitution, and wisdom. He has magic resistance as well as woodlander weapons, meaning his attacks do an extra 2d8 force damage. His list of spells include some damage dealing, but mostly supportive and ability enhancing spells for his allies. Especially his aura of shielding, which gives +2 AC to all allies within 30 feet of him. He's got a multi-attack with his nature staff, dealing that force damage, as mentioned before, as well as a healing touch, which he can do 3 times per day. And he just would not be a good druid if he couldn't change shape, meaning he can magically polymorph into any humanoid or beast and retain many of their skills. Alright, I hope you enjoy your monster. On to the second winner of our 44K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Crafty Mirage. What I get from your content is that you are stylish, passionate, a magic user, but also a little bit devious. That was my inspiration for your fiendish attacker, the Phantasmagoria. Alright, Crafty Mirage, here's your stat block. Pause to read. Phantasmagoria is a tough harpy that utilizes spells as well as physical attacks. She's got good AC, hit points, a flight speed, as well as decent stats across the board. She's got magic resistance, inscrutable, as well as hellish strikes with her 4 arms, meaning her attacks are going to do an extra 2d6 fire damage. She does have a small repertoire of spells to help her deal with some pesky mage slayers, but for the most part her attacks are going to be all physical, with again her multi-attack with her 4 attacks from her Scorch Claw, as well as her ultimate ability, her Razor Wings. She launches 4 sharpened barbs from her wings that can hit up to 4 targets for moderate damage. Alright, Crafty, go kick Zombie's ass. On to the third winner of the 44K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Professor D&D. What I get from your content is you are intelligent, cunning, but also maybe a little bit devious. Let's see a little darkness in you, sir. That was my inspiration for your dark and fiendish attacker, the Rossiforp. How did I ever come up with that name? Pause to read. The Rossiforp is a large fiend with great armor, hit points, and great stats across the board, including intelligence and dexterity. You've got many different damage resistances, as well as magic weapons, magic resistance, and your fear aura. You do have some pretty nasty spells, but that's not the main way you deal damage. You're going to be dealing a butt-ton of damage with your multi-attack. 1 bite, 2 claw, and 1 tail attacks. Your raking claw attack can deal necrotic damage. Your bite attack can poison and deal additional necrotic damage. And your massive 10-foot-long tail can do massive bludgeoning damage, knock your enemies back, and prone. I want to spend just a little bit more time with this artwork. Look at this. That is awesome. Taking on all comers. On to the fourth winner of our 44K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Critical Dice. What I get from your content is that you're an intelligent spellcaster who's cunning, detailed, and diligent. This was my inspiration for your shadowy lorekeeper, the Chaos Librarian. Alright, this is a long, legendary one. Pause to read. The Chaos Librarian is a meticulous note-taker on all things grim. Very high intelligence, good durability, and several different resistances and immunities. They have enumerated existences, meaning if one dies somewhere, another one just emerges and takes its place. It has a Chaos Barrier, meaning if it gets hit with a spell, that creature needs to roll on the Sorcerer's Wild Magic Surge table. It has a long list of impressive spells to cause chaos when it's in combat. It does have a basic touch attack, which can cause paralysis, as well as its legendary actions, casting another cantrip using its Withering Touch or its Chaos Energy Surge. This causes 6 creatures up to 120 feet to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. I did mention he's not specifically evil, but great artwork here. On to the fifth and final winner of the 44K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Wolfie. Getting a lot of strong Viking, Druid, and Barbaric type themes in your content. That was my inspiration for your fierce mountain warrior, the Bugbear Brute. Alright, Swolfie, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Bugbear Brute is an aggressive, mountain-dwelling ambusher and shock trooper. He's all about causing chaos on the front line, so he's got good AC, hit points, strength, and constitution. He's going to have resistances to cold from non-magical attacks, and as well as immune to being frightened. His kit is all about dealing frontline damage, so he's got aggression, blood frenzy, and surprise attack. He's going to be making 2 attacks per round, either with his claws, his bite, or his barbaric halberd. His basic claw attacks are so powerful it can knock his enemies prone. He can actually grapple an enemy with his jaws and cause continuous damage. And last of all, his barbaric halberd can reduce the maximum HP of its targets. He would make for a pretty good captain of a squad of goblins, if I don't say so myself. We're at the first winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Cape Slayer RPG. A fellow lycanthrope like myself, I see a bestial fury in some of your content. I decided to dial that ferocity up to 11 with the Hero Slayer. Alright, Cape Slayer, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Hero Slayer is a straightforward monstrosity with an animalistic nature. He's got great AC, hit points, strength, dexterity, and constitution, as well as resistances to piercing and slashing damage due to his thick hide. He's a natural predator, so he's gonna be ferocious, have a huge standing leap, as well as a pounce attack that deals additional damage. There are no bells and whistles on this beast of burden. He's gonna be leaping into battle using his multi-attack with his bite and claws. These are already gonna be doing considerable damage mixed with his pounce attack, but his ultimate ability is his whirlwind charge. He is going to flail and slash around his arms to all creatures within 10 feet of him, causing massive damage. I wonder if we can domesticate it and call it Fluffy. It's kind of late right now, but I'm doing the second winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Purple Moss. The vibe I'm getting from your content is a little bit wild, a little bit chaotic, and a little bit devious. That was my inspiration for your melee bruiser and trickster, Azil, the Trouble of Feywild. Alright, here's your stat block. Pause to read. Azil is a highly agile and mobile DPS with good AC and stats all around. She's going to be very difficult to damage with her Fey ancestry, evasion, and cunning action. She's also a big-time trickster, so she can cast Change Shape 3 times per day. She has a good amount of damage-dealing spells, but that's not her primary mode of damage. She's going to be coming in full steam with her multi-attack using her Great Axe. It's going to cause massive slashing and fire damage on hit. But that's not even her ultimate ability, which is Butterfly Nova. This causes massive damage in a 60-foot area and lights up her enemies, making them easier to hit. Again, the artwork on this one is insane. On to the third winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is the Matalorian. Your concept was difficult, but some of the words that I would use to describe some of your content is simplistic, very down-to-earth. That led me to think about monsters that could be lurking under the earth. You are the Prexian Driller. Alright, Matalorian, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Prexian Driller is a tanky melee DPS who uses his underground movement to surprise players. He's got great strength, constitution, immunities, and magic resistance. When he's on the surface, he causes tremors all around him, causing damage and enemies to fall prone. He's going to be dealing damage pretty straightforward with a multi-attack from his Claw and his Giga Drill. His Giga Drill can cause a massive 4d10 slashing damage. He can use that in conjunction with his tunneling ability for his Rupturing Burst. When burrowing underneath the creature, he can erupt upward, causing additional bludgeoning damage and tossing the creature aside. Definitely bringing the monster back into D&D Monster Contest. On to the fourth winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is 7-Foot Viking. I did not take the low-hanging fruit and simply make you into a Viking. Nah, that'd have been too easy. But I did want to make you something powerful, ominous, and elemental. You are the powerhouse of the Northern Wilderness. You are the Arc Ursa. Alright, 7-Foot Viking, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Arc Ursa is a tanky beast with good AC, hit points, strength, and constitution. It has an electrified body, meaning anybody that touches it or hits it with a melee attack is going to take lightning damage. As well as being immune to cold damage, it also has lightning absorption and discharge, meaning if it takes lightning damage, it gets healed from it, and it then reverts that lightning damage back into its next melee attack. It's going to be doing most of its damage pretty up front, using its bite and claws. And of course, its ultimate ability, its Lightning Breath. Deals massive lightning damage in a long 60-foot line in front of him. This looks like this is artwork from League of Legends' Volibear character, but it's actually not, but close enough. It looks good. On to the fifth winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Son of Asgard. The vibe I'm getting from your content is you are powerful, dutiful, but also full of honor. But I also wanted to give you a werewolf and vampire flavoring. That was the inspiration for your monster, the Wyrmpir Outlander. Alright, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Wyrmpir Outlander is a half werewolf, half vampire with good AC, hit points, and good stats across the board. He has a multitude of damage resistances, immunities, as well as overall magic resistance. No good werewolf would ever be caught without its regeneration, as well as his special ability, Armed Combat, meaning he can rapidly grow 2 large arms out of his back and have a 10-foot reach and deal great bludgeoning damage. He does have a short list of damage-dealing spells from his vampire side, but that's not the primary way he does damage. He's going to be hitting hard on the front lines with his 2 attacks from his katana, as well as his fists from his Armed Combat ability. I'm just tossing Wyrmpir out here, but let me know if there's a better name for a Lycan vampire hybrid. Gotta go fast for the 6th and final winner of the 45k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Tank Tolman.
Obviously, you are a powerful Viking warrior worthy of Thor himself. So here's your massive Viking warrior. You are the avatar of Thor. Alright, here's your legendary stat block. Pause to read. Not Thor himself, but a being blessed with Thor's abilities with huge AC, hit points, and stats across the board. Your weapons are blessed by Thor, meaning you'll do lightning damage on each attack, and you've got lightning absorption. You have immutable form, reckless, regeneration, and innate spellcasting with some lightning spells. You're going to have a pretty straightforward attack pattern, hitting things with your hammer, and got a paralyzing AoE charge, which can paralyze enemies. You've got some amazing legendary actions here as well. You have another hammer attack, you have a headbutt attack, which can actually stun enemies for 2 rounds, and your most powerful ability that costs 3 actions and you can only do once per day is Valhalla Awaits. It is a massive second wind of energy that allows you to regain 150 hit points. I would not want to be this guy.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.